Sometimes simply existing is one of the most productive and inspiring uses of our time as creatives. Bell Hooks once said that work for women artists is never just the moment when we write or do other art. In the fullest sense, it is also the time spent in contemplation and preparation. This solitary space is sometimes a place where dreams and visions enter, and sometimes a place where nothing happens. Yet it is as necessary to active work as water is to growing things. For me, this month-long art residency in Greece has felt deeply productive, but not in the traditional sense you might envision productivity. Yes, I've been spending hours at my laptop, but I wouldn't call these moments my most productive. Rather, my productive hours have been moments spent gazing at the moon, watching the sun rise into the sky, writing in olive groves, listening to the sea, and watching the wind blow against trees. I think that seeking out seasons of expansiveness in life is crucial for the growth of our creative spirits, whether it's a quiet morning of ceremony and ritual, a weekend of disconnect in nature, or a dedicated art residency. In any form, these experiences are deeply restorative and regenerative. They all create an opening in our minds, allowing inspiration to slip through and rush forth into our hearts. It is from there that we work. There's somebody out in the village doing some sort of construction work, and hopefully it's not too loud when I'm speaking. But it's Monday morning and I'm really looking forward to this week and to creating this video. I want to share more of my little life that I've created here in Kythera and the routines that are holding me throughout this time and helping me lean into my creativity and helping me feel inspired. And yeah, I just want to share those things with you guys and just spend some time together. When I posted my last video, some people had some questions about where I'm staying and how I found this place. So I initially found this place last year on Airbnb. And I came and stayed for a month and became friends with a lady who owns this property whilst I was staying here because she was also living next door. There's like 3 apartments here that are kind of close together, but they all have their own privacy. And her vision with this place is to turn it into an artist residency so people can come outside of the summer months and stay for like an extended period of time and work on their creative practices. So I feel like I've come to sort of try out the residency, and I'm also helping her with her social media to get her residency like started and out into the world. On Instagram, it's Swan House Kythera. So there's 3 apartments here. I'm staying in one apartment, and then there's also a shared studio space. I can envision it being such a nice place for like a shared residency and having like a couple of people staying at the same time. And then like you have your own space, but then it would kind of feel like its own little community. And so yeah, I'm treating this month here as a residency for myself to work on my writing and sketching. I feel really inspired and called to create art at the moment and to sketch. I really want to paint. Like I feel like I want to do bigger pieces of work. I keep doing little sketches in my journal, and I've started doing some bigger sketches. I'll show you one second. This is one that I did. I'm just feeling really inspired by the landscape and how I feel in the landscape and how everything feels so alive. These were these eucalyptus trees the other day, and when it rained, they turned this like beautiful, rich, earthy colors. And so I did a little sketch of it and kind of took 2 figures. And then I did this one. And then I'm starting to work on this one. I started it last night. But yeah, I just want to sketch and paint and use my hands and just get into that flow. I love the feeling of getting lost in a piece of art. And I used to create so much more when I was younger, like when I was in high school and I did art. I spent so many hours painting and just getting lost in the act of like creating something, and it felt so good. And I'm really, really loving that at the moment, and also creating things that are away from my screen, because for so long my main creative outlet has been creating these videos, and I love it. But I really want to take things away from the screen a bit and have a bit more balance in my life with digital and non-digital things. But because it's Monday, I love a fresh start. I love a reset. Last night I was thinking about how I want this week to unfold, and I wrote a little mind map in my journal, and I wrote this week, and then I wrote around it all the things that I want to do this week. I also started a Substack recently, and I have been working on posts from like last month, things that I wrote in my journal and things that I want to share from like the last chapter of my life in London. And it's feeling so good to have somewhere to put my writing and like a way to put it out in the world. And I have so many ideas and thoughts and things that I want to do in the future in that space. But it's fun starting new things and just extending yourself creatively, pushing yourself a little bit, seeing how you can experiment and show up in new ways and how that feels for you. Because I honestly think it's so important to just, stretch ourselves in so many different ways in life, but in our creativity as well. It just contributes to such a feeling of aliveness to me. Inspiration isn't something we chase, it's something we return to. Like the breath, like the heartbeat, it is always there beneath the noise. In a world that moves so fast, we often forget to notice. But if we learn to refine our way of looking at the world and of experiencing life, we start to find that the world is endlessly generous in its offering of beauty. In pursuit of inspiration, we must tread lightly, free of force and urgency, but with curiosity and patience. We need moments in our days that quieten our minds so that the elusive wisdom of the world can speak to us. But I know this stillness can be difficult to practice when we live in a digital world that farms for our attention and fixates us on chasing momentary rushes of dopamine that always leave us wanting more, never fully satisfied. In order to open ourselves up to the ubiquitous and endless current of inspiration that flows through the world, we need to reclaim our attention and cultivate practices of being with ourselves, of being comfortable with stillness, with silence, with solitude. For inspiration asks us to notice, and our capacity to notice deepens when we are still, when we are silent and alone. Practicing this is a muscle that needs gentle, loving repetition. But once we find ways to develop these skills, we are on our way to meeting inspiration. There's something so grounding about sitting in the same spot and always gazing out at the same view and seeing what changes when the weather changes. Like, I've seen so many different scenes from this window in 2 weeks. I've seen sunrises and sunsets and cloudy days and sunny days and wind, and it always looks so different. I feel like that's something I do no matter where I am, where I'm living. I always like to anchor into a certain little spot and return to it, somewhere to sit and ponder. Like a pondering spot just feels so important in life. Ideally, multiple pondering spots for different moods, different scenarios. This is my indoor pondering spot, and then I've got outdoor pondering spots too. These are my favorite trees. They have such a character. I feel like they're also like straight up and down, whereas the other ones are much more round. See these ones? They're rounder. They have a different character. I just think these guys are so funny. Look at them. Little army of trees, little army of olive trees. They're all like, hey, it's windy today, but we're having fun. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm just here having breakfast. Reclaiming your attention and redirecting your focus from consumption to creation will open you up to well springs of inspiration and joy. They won't offer you that same feel-good rush that we've been wired to yearn for, but they will leave you with something much more steady and grounding, a sense of flow and calm, much like a trickling stream or a shifting sky. Slowly, you'll start to hear yourself again. I literally feel like my eyes are tripping out. I've never seen such a perfect rainbow in my life. There's another one coming. Wow. Like I film a music video here. I came to see the moon rise and I got a double rainbow instead. I think I found my spot to watch the moon rise. And New Beach, I've never been here before. I do believe I have found the most perfect spot to watch the moon rise. You know, some moments in life just feel so absurdly incredible. Like, what? How am I here right now? Every time I come outside on this island, I just think to myself how incredible nature is, and how at every single moment there is so much beauty for us to witness and so much inspiration for us to draw from. Like, it's endless. It's literally endless. The most abundant thing in the world. I feel alive and I feel free and I brought my music with me. I made a banana smoothie this morning. I need to get like halfway out the window to get the sun. Oh, that's better. Now I'm like straddling the fucking window frame. Last night with the moon was actually incredible. I felt like I was living in some sort of a fantasy novel. I wrote about it this morning because I had to get out like the way that I felt and experienced the moment, all the little details, like the water glistening with the moonlight, and the way that the sky and the sea, the like rich blue and grey as night was starting to fall. It was all just like so visceral. I think also when I experience things by myself and I spend time in my solitude, I have such a yearn to express and capture what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. And just living the moment and then continuing on with my life sometimes doesn't feel like enough. I feel as though documenting and writing and sketching, creating art in all different forms is me sort of honoring and cherishing the moments that I live and having such like gratitude and reverence for them. But I was journaling this morning because I was reflecting on this whole lunar cycle and everything that has happened within it. And I was thinking about when it was the last full moon. And that was just like such a rocky time for me. I feel from the last full moon to this full moon, it just feels like so much has happened. And now I'm like just feeling whole again. And it was just so beautiful reflecting on that and sort of feeling in sync with the moon. Now that the moon is full, I feel full and just like living in that rhythm. It feels so satisfying. I think paying attention to the rhythms and cycles in nature is so grounding, and like we can benefit so much from it because we also, especially as women, move in those cycles, and we're not just like on this journey of life like this. It just, things continue and repeat and evolve. We're just in this continual cyclical rhythm with all of nature. And yeah, the full moon was such a reminder of that. And today I'm feeling rebirthed, I'm feeling reborn. I just feel so much newness within me, so many new ways I want to express myself, so many new things I want to create. The pursuit of inspiration has no finish line, for it's not something you catch once and keep forever. It is a rhythm, a cycle, like the moon. Some days it shines, and other days it hides in the shadows. The secret is to keep returning to catch a glimpse. The more you show up with presence and openness, the more it will meet you halfway. This is not about striving. This is about remembering. The inspiration you're looking for is already within you. When we fall into a state of deeper noticing and refine our way of looking at the world, we start to notice the quiet beauty of nature speaking to us in moments where time slows. We start to learn from the wisdom of the first and oldest teacher, the way the seasons shift, how the light hits the earth at dusk, the rhythm of waves, the life within soil. All of it is living poetry, waiting to be read. To see life in this light, it's helpful to go out into nature and start to oscillate between the macro and the micro. The expanse of the sky, the fragility of a leaf, the flow of a stream, the swollen reflection in morning dew, the spiral in a snail's shell, the slow unfolding of a flower, or the color bleeding through a shell. Ask yourself, what beauty do you see? What patterns do you notice? What lessons are you learning from the quiet wisdom of nature? Welcome to the office for today. I've been coming for walks up to this olive grove quite often, and I think it's so nice up here. It feels so still and calm, and you have the view out to the valley there. I've got my laptop, and I also bought my old journal with me because I want to go through it and write a Substack post from some of my entries and reflections in here. So that's my plan for the next hour or so. I also brought a flask of cacao, so I'm really set. When things feel dull and stagnant, it's often because we've stopped letting life surprise us. Finding a way to step out of your comfort zone is a great way to see things from a new perspective and invite a feeling of freshness into your creative mind. There are endless ways to step out of your comfort zone. You might travel to a new country or city, or maybe you simply walk a different path home, or try a new recipe, make a new tea, listen to a new genre of music, sit in a park you've never been to. Inspiration doesn't come from grandeur, it comes from presence. You might spend weeks traveling across the world, or simply watch raindrops gather on your bedroom window pane. Both can move you deeply if your heart is open enough to receive them. At the start of this trip, I set my intentions and wrote the following in my journal. May my writing and art flow from me like honey softened in sunlight. May I be devoted to the routines and rituals that nurture me. May nature inspire me with her aliveness. May I be in constant dialogue with the deepest, truest parts of myself. May I believe in myself. May I create memories that leave a lingering warmth in my soul. May my heart and mind be clear. May my body be nourished, and may my spirit shine bright. 4 weeks later, I can wholeheartedly say that this intention has been fulfilled. Sometimes creativity needs change and disruption. Sometimes things need to fall apart so they can fall back together again in a newly inspired form. We need to let ourselves be moved by life's waves, for life isn't meant to be controlled, it's meant to be lived. And there is art in the falling apart, in the unexpected and messy moments of life. Trees let go of their leaves in autumn. You can let go too. Wherever there is change, disruption, or chaos, There is also inspiration waiting in the darkness, and when we stop trying to hold it all together, and we open ourselves to the messy, unfraying edge of life, we create space for our souls to expand and for inspiration to enter. With an open heart, we evolve through every falling apart and every coming together. Every new chapter offers us new ways of being and seeing, and new wisdom to integrate into our lives. Like water molding earth, our personal journeys shape us. The lessons you learn from moments of turbulence and the memories woven into your heart are all living, breathing inspiration. There is so much wisdom in the journey itself. May we never forget how much beauty there is in the world. May our eyes stay open, our hearts soft, and our spirits curious. May we find inspiration in the smallest things, and may we have the courage to let our experiences change us. And when we lose our way, may we remember how to return. Because inspiration is never gone, it's simply waiting for us to notice.